In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the Umbrella bot for the upcoming beta release. These are the current features as it stands today with version 1. So I'm going to be jumping around to the different tabs and the different feature sets that the bot offers, and just doing a brief explanation wherever I feel like it needs explaining. And hopefully this gives you guys enough of an idea of how to use the bot and have some success with it in the upcoming drops. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to profiles and add a profile. For the purpose of the video, I am going to go ahead and just make it, John. Excuse my typing. Just gonna make it dummy data. Since we're not actually gonna be ordering anything in this video, it is just going to show you how the bot works. So here we are, 33 027. Let's just give it a random number. Credit card information. Let's make that 26 123. And here you have the Gmail cookies field. If for every profile you create, you can add some cookies into the profile, and what that'll do is whenever the bot opens a browser with that profile, those cookies are gonna be used. So hopefully if there is a captcha, you will get a one click. So let's go ahead and click add profile. As you can see, the profile has been added, and we get a nice notification letting us know that it has been added. So with the profile created, we're pretty much set to go in order to be able to create tasks so that we can buy some items. So let's go to user supply and let's go ahead and create our first task. So the task that I'm going to be creating is going to be to check out this item right here. So how do we do that? So let's click on add user supply. I'm going to go ahead and name this something that lets me know what this task is ordering, carpenter oak. In this case, it's what we're going to be ordering. Let's see, let's go ahead and order a size M. The URL of the product that we're going to be ordering. If we have monitors set up, we will select that here. I will go over that later on in the video, but for now, let's go ahead and leave it blank. Profile, let's select the profile we just created. And then for proxy, if you fill this out, it'll use the proxy that you told it to use. If you don't fill it out and you leave it blank, what it'll do is it'll just use your local IP. Whenever I do my drops with this bot, I like to have some tasks that go through proxies, and then I'll have maybe one or two, not a lot, tasks that go through my local IP, just because I know I can always trust it, and I know that if anything else, if my proxies fail, my local tasks usually work. The key is not to have too many of them, because then you can get your own IP banned, and that's something we don't want to do. So let's go ahead and click at user supply task. So there you go, the task has been created. So with this, we already have enough here to be able to go to the user supply, and essentially the bot is going to create a cart for us, and then once the cart's been created, it'll go ahead and check it out. And once we have a proper checkout link that we can go directly to, it'll go ahead and open the browser for us. Let's see what that looks like. So if we go ahead and click start task here, you see that the status changes. It's carting, checking out, checkout ready. But whenever you see checkout ready, what will happen is there'll be a browser that opens up, and I'm not touching anything. This is the bot doing everything on its own. It'll go ahead and fill out everything for you. If there was a captcha, it'll wait in this screen, so you can go ahead and click that captcha. As we all know, as with user supply likes to put some of his captchas, and then you can pretty much just let it go from there on. It'll just move you through the screens. It'll fill out all the credit card information for you. And because we are in beta, the bot at the moment is not gonna complete the order for you. It'll stay at this specific stage, so you can go ahead and click complete order once you feel that what is showing over here on the right hand side is what you want to purchase. Once you come out of beta, we'll most likely add some sort of option to the task to essentially complete the order automatically for you. But for now, it's a semi-manual process, but that you'll find very successful, because we open up a browser and we have cookies and we do many other things to make sure that user supply likes us as a user of the site. This will really help you from getting banned, and getting your proxies banned, and just make sure that you're really flying under the radar for them. And when there are multiple queues, so there's sometimes that user supply likes to do that. this system will also handle that. So it'll just essentially get you through each queue as quickly as you possibly can get through. So as we see here, this, we can complete this order. I'm not gonna go ahead and purchase this, obviously, because this is just a test. So let's go ahead and close this. You can see, if you wanted to see what the bot did, you see it says no monitor. Since it has no monitor, it's just gonna go ahead and trigger right away. So it'll load the product, add it to cart, check it out, and then it'll give you some links here. Because there is no queue currently on User Supply, it pretty much just tells you that you're out of the queue right away. If there was a queue, what you're gonna see here is a frequent update where it's telling you, hey, I'm in queue. I'm trying to get out of the queue as quickly as possible by implementing a few different things that the bot has. But essentially, you'll be in queue, and as soon as it can get you out, it'll go ahead and get you out. It'll show you the checkout URL, and then here it'll show you the checkout cookies as well. So one of the reasons why we include this in the logs is because if at any given point you have a bot failure, meaning the bot failed to open up a browser for you, we don't want to block you. With this information right here, with the checkout link and those cookies, you can essentially set up a quick Chrome profile window and just inject those cookies into your browser, go to the URL, and it'll essentially get you to where you need to go and complete that order. So we really don't want you guys to miss out on any orders, on any checkouts that you guys make. So that's one of the reasons why it's included here in the logs. So as you guys saw, that's how you access the logs. It's going to be very useful whenever you get any error statuses, or if you just want to see how what it's doing in the background. This will do it. A lot of times, as we're dealing with bugs or things of that nature, we will ask you to essentially go in here and copy these logs, send it to us, so we can get an inside look at where the bot is getting stuck or where the issue might be. But as you can see, we had a very successful checkout here. So I'm going to go ahead and close this. So what are some of the other things that you can do, right? This is great, to create a checkout. We check this out. A lot of times we're not going to be checking out this item. We're going to be checking out something like this, where we really want, we want to get into the queue and check out as quickly as possible before, we're stuck behind a bunch of people. And so how do we do that? Well, doing it manually, guys, you can sit here, the password page comes up, you can refresh it, wait for notifications, etc., and wait until it essentially goes away, and you have, this is now enabled, and you have a size picker here and a purchase button. And that's great, but the problem is that if you're waiting till then to click, start task, you're already too late. One of the key differentiators that this bot has is, in a lot of other bots, you're gonna find that you can add some sort of monitor delay to your task, and then each task is gonna be hitting the site for to make sure that it is enabled and that it can go ahead and purchase the item. This bot doesn't work that way. So the way we do it is we built in monitors as a completely different section of the task. So if we go into monitors, and we see what we can do here. Let's go ahead and add a monitor. So with this monitor, what I can do is I can give it a name. In this case, I'm going to give it little marks, for example. I'm going to tell this monitor to monitor this page right here. And if I have proxies, which I will add some in a bit and show you how that works, I will select them here. In this case, I'm not going to do this right now. I'm going to leave it there. And then you can set the delay. Since I'm not using proxies right now, I don't want to get my local IP banned, so I'm just going to give it 60,000 milliseconds, which is 60 seconds, so it's a minute. So every minute, this monitor is going to check this page, and it's going to try to find the keywords that I give it. It is a monitor that's very versatile in this way, because all it works is you give it a URL, you give it proxies or ways to connect, and then you give it the keywords to check for, and it's essentially just gonna keep doing that till the end of time until it finds those keywords on the page. As soon as it finds those keywords on the page, it's gonna do what is called a trigger. So it'll fire off a notification to any other task that is listening to that monitor, and it's gonna say, hey, what you wanted on this page, I found it, go ahead and start. So that will let the task know to start automatically. So in this case, for User Supply, one of the things that you can, the signatures that you can add to make sure that it is purchasable, you can add this value equals quotes purchase quotes. string into it, and that is one of the tokens you'll find on every single page of Yeezy Supply that's purchasable. This is subject to change, so you really have to make sure that you're on top of the task, and know what you're going after to make sure that it is gonna be containing those keywords to signify that this product is ready to be purchased. So let's go ahead and click Add Monitor, and let's go ahead and have it start watching. So if I just click play here, what's gonna happen is the monitor is gonna check. It's gonna tell you when it checked, and it's gonna tell you, hey, URL was not triggered. I'm gonna go ahead and wait again X many milliseconds to then go ahead and check again. So this is most likely going to go on till the end of time. Why? Because the loan marks have already dropped. There's not going to be a restock, so letting this run, we can let it run. It's not going to do anything for us. But I did wanted to show you how to create a monitor for a page, and what you want it to work. You could have basically done this, because as we know, sometimes they don't drop on this page. You could have just easily gone here and done it on the home page. So if we go and we'll stop this, we're gonna go ahead and edit it, and we're gonna remove the product page. We're just gonna call it that. We're gonna go ahead and update the monitor, and we're gonna have it run again, and sure enough, it's not there either. So it's just gonna keep checking. But you're gonna essentially do this on any page you want, and really any page on the internet that you want. If you have some sort of system that maybe some other page is notifying you that the drop is live, you can literally watch a page on another site, let that monitor check that for you, and then once this monitor fire, you can have pages, you can have tabs that go to completely different pages, do the purchasing. Hopefully that wasn't too confusing, but I hope it shows you kind of like the power that you have with this. So again, this is never gonna fire, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop it. But let's now create a monitor that will fire, so that we can link it up with our task, and you guys can see how that works. So I'm gonna go ahead and copy this link. I'm gonna create another monitor. We're gonna call this same thing, Carpenter Oak. We're gonna give it a URL. Not gonna give it a proxy. I'm gonna give it the 16,000 milliseconds again, and I'm going to give it the same keywords that I told you before, but in this case, we're gonna call this a coat, because it's not a loan mark. We obviously want to see that we're in the right product page and make sure that we're buying the right thing. So let's go ahead and add that monitor. And so now, if we go ahead and play and start this monitor, what's gonna happen is it'll go ahead, boom, and almost immediately you see it detects that this has been triggered. So if you look at the logs, you'll see that, hey, URL has triggered. Great, but nothing was listening to it, so nothing happened. So we can repeat this. However, now we can have a task be fired upon this. So if we go back to our task, right, we know this was live, so we just ran it right away. But with the case in most drops, you're gonna set up your tasks, you're gonna set up your monitors, and then you're just gonna leave them running, and make sure that as soon as it's available, you're gonna be the first person in line to purchase that item. So how do we do this? Let's go ahead and edit our task, and now we should have some monitors available to us that we created to make sure that this fires. So I'm not gonna select loan marks, because obviously that doesn't make sense. I'm gonna select the Carpenter Oak monitor that I created for this product, and I'm gonna click update. So now that we have this set up, as you see, the monitor is there, it's going. So what can we do now? So the monitors are ready, the task is ready. You can stop it if you want to reset its status, or you can just click start from the get-go. It doesn't matter. If we click start, what's gonna happen is very quickly the bot will know that, hey, I'm waiting for a monitor to trigger, and its current status is ready. It's not triggered, so I don't have anything to do. So as soon as I click this start now, what's gonna happen is this monitor is gonna go ahead, it's gonna do its thing, it's gonna check. Once it fires, its status will change, and then any bot, in this case we have one bot that's listening to it, it's gonna go ahead and do its thing. It's gonna add to cart, check out, make sure that you have a valid session. It's gonna open up the browser for you. So this will be really fast, so I will most likely not be able to catch it, but let's see if I'm quick enough. So I'm gonna click start, and then I'm gonna quickly go back to Yeezy Supply so you can see the status change. So if I click start here, that's doing its thing, and here you see by the time we click, literally there was like almost no time for me to click and go back. The notification system fire, it let it know, hey, get a valid session. You were already been one of the first people in queue, and you would be going through the process of checking out whatever item you want to check out. You let it do its thing, and again, it'll take you all the way up to the last process, and you literally all you have to do is click complete order. So in a very quick summary, that is how you would use monitors and your tasks. But checking uh a page every 60,000 milliseconds or every minute, it's not the quickest thing in the world, right? As you can imagine, from when a product goes live, you wait a minute to get into queue, you're most likely going to be very late. So I'm going to show you guys how you can use this unique feature of Umbrella to literally beat the person to the line, to be the first person. As soon as the product goes live, you're gonna be the first person that's there. A lot of it varies on the speed of your proxies, where they're located in the United States, how close you are to the data center, but you also have control into how often you can check the, sorry about that, you often have control over what it is that you can do to speed up the process. So what can you do? So if we were to go into a proxies tab, right, it's pretty simple. Is you can name something. In this case, I'm not gonna add no residential proxies. I'm gonna add some data center. We're gonna call this data center monitor proxies, and I just have a list here of some proxies that I use. They're all on my local IP, so it's okay. I don't have to blur them out. But in this case, I added 5 proxies. We support HTTP proxies, HTTPS, SOCKS 4, SOCKS 5, different authentications, with username and password, all that goodness. But if I add these proxies now, there you go, they're added. But now I can go to my monitor, and then I can modify my monitor, and I can tell it, hey, I want you to use these proxies right here. And so when I do that, I don't have my proxies running, so I'm not gonna run this because it's going to not work as expected. But what I did want to call out is how you can link your proxies to your monitor. So here's what I do. I like to get anywhere from, let's say, 30 to 60 data center proxies, and I will go ahead and add them in here. I'll have about, like I said, 30 to 60 of them. And then once you have 30 to 60 of them, you can bring this delay way down, because the way the bot will use those proxies is it will do a request with one proxy, and then the next request that it does after the delay, it'll choose another proxy from the pool, and it'll just rotate your proxies in a circle, as you can imagine that, using proxy by proxy, checking every delay. So if you have 60 proxies, you can literally bring this delay down to 1 second. So it's gonna check every second with a different proxy URL, and you will be knowing within the second that something goes live. You will be notified, and it will be triggering your task. If you add more, you can get it down to half a second, 250 milliseconds. You can get it down to as close as you want. But always, guys, keep in mind, you want to be on the safe side, to make sure your monitors are fast, they're not being blocked. You want to make sure that you have that if you're gonna go, that each proxy URL is hitting the site that you're trying to monitor at least once a minute. If you can try to do that, I mean, you can go risky, and you can do it, every 30 seconds with, so the same URL will hit it every 30 seconds. That is kind of risky in my opinion. I prefer to have, a good safe way of a 45 seconds, 60 seconds, preferably, to make sure that I can trust the monitors. I know they're not gonna be blocked. And guys, this works beautifully. I'm telling you, you get your 60 proxies, you set this delay down to 1,000 milliseconds, and you're watching there like the stock market. So something goes live, you're within the second, your tasks are making requests to cart. This is super nice and effective. You're not risking your task proxies. So what can you do? So if you use data center proxies for monitoring, which is what I do, they're cheap, you can get tons of them for a very good price. You can then save up your proxies for your resi proxies, your residential proxies. You can save them for your actual purchase task. What that means is that you will have a army of proxies, of data center proxies monitoring. As soon as it goes live, the proxies usually work very well. But then what's actually going to create the order for you, what's going to get you in queue, what's going to make sure you don't get blocked by the site, it's going to be a residential proxy, which we know are more expensive, much more limited in terms, you can only put a certain amount of gigabytes through them before you get charged again, etc., etc., etc. So this allows you to save your expensive proxies for what actually matters, which is not monitoring. That's an easy thing to solve, which is getting you the product carded, checked out, and all ready for you to order it. So I hope this was a very quick and an insightful introduction into how Easy Supply monitors, profiles, and proxies work within Umbrella. I will soon be making another video on how Shopify and the Adidas sites work within the bot. And so yeah, hope to see you guys using this bot and enjoying it.